God, I always feel like I'm saying the best this, we're gonna make the best that. It's always about the best. Well, yeah, you're goddamn right. These are the best tater tots ever. Beef fat confit tater tots. It sounds fancy and it tastes even more luxurious than the words escaping your lips. This is not just a tater tot. This is a potato experience, and it's really a very basic dish. You only need 4 ingredients: potatoes, cornstarch, some simple seasonings, and beef fat. Super easy, not very expensive to make, and anybody can do this. They're so ridiculously crunchy, but the inside is so luscious and delicate and rich and luxurious. So that being said, let's make this, shall we? Now we've got a pretty unusual technique for making these tater tots, but the goal is to make them the best of all time. Then we'll shape them and let them rest. And while they're freezing, we'll whip together a quick sauce, fry, and serve. Unfortunately, if you're gonna make a tater tot, you gotta have potatoes. Aw, sorry. Someone's gonna bitch about it, I gotta say something. 3 pounds. We got big dogs here, okay? You put these together, these look like, I'm sure there's some, no, Josh, don't say it. 3 pounds of russet potatoes. You're gonna peel them. You've seen me do this trick. You wanna make cleanup easy? You can peel them over parchment paper, completely optional, not mandatory, but it does make the cleanup a little bit easier. So you'll peel all of them first. Okay, see, so once you're done peeling, you just do this. Isn't that nice? Sometimes you just gotta make life easier, man. Next important phase, a clean tea towel, dish towel, whatever. Lay that out on a board, and directly on top of it, box grater on this setting, right? So not the, whatever the that is, not the fine setting and not the, I call this the pecorino setting. Coarse, grate all of your potatoes. We've got 3 large potatoes, which will make approximately 3 pounds. So, kind of takes a while, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, if you have a food processor with a grater attachment, this would really go by a lot faster. That's low-key a tricep killer. This is step 1 of the more critical parts of the process, and it really determines the texture of your tot. Now, once that's all grated, gather up your tea towel and throw this in the trash. No, I'm just kidding. You're gonna gather all this up, right? Hear that? There's a lot of, you see? There's a lot of water in this. We need to get that, we need to get that starchy water out of this as much as possible. So hold it over a sink or a bowl and just give it a good squeeze. There's a lot of liquid in this. I need you to either find the strongest person in your house or maybe do a little prayer beforehand, because you need to really squeeze this. You can also twist the top to make it more taut and just really wring it out. It's okay if you don't get absolutely all of it out, but the goal is just to get out as much as you can. Whatever isn't drained out will find its way out of there. Okay, so I've got my little workout in. We actually have even less volume now because a lot of that was just liquid, right? Now it's all compacted together. It should feel a lot drier, not quite so wet. Now, we can move on to the next and most important step. Here I have a large pot filled with about 2.5, 3 quarts of beef tallow. You can do vegetable oil, you can do canola oil, but beef tallow, obviously healthier for you, tastes way, way better. And we're gonna use this oil twice. You can see this is not fully melted, that's fine. Most of it is melted. We're gonna keep heating that over medium heat, and then we're just gonna add in our potatoes directly into the oil. Yes, it's cold, we're not deep frying it. We're just gonna lightly confit this first. That's all of our potato shredded in. And we're just gonna stir that to saturate it in the oil. Now, once all your beef fat is melted, you're gonna reduce the heat to about medium low, and we're gonna very gently cook this in the fat just until it turns translucent. This is known as confit, and it's sort of like 60, 75% of the way cooked through, but still a little bit raw on the inside. We don't wanna fully cook it, otherwise it can turn into mashed potatoes. All right, these are done. Now we're gonna strain them through a fine mesh strainer. Be careful, this oil is hot. You can kind of shake it out so it doesn't splash you. Par cooking the potato is extremely important. You might be tempted to totally skip this. At this point in my life, I've realized kind of the general questions people might ask out the gate, or just do, and then they'll come and complain to me later. Let me tell you something. You cannot skip this part. It's a different recipe at that point. This is the key. I know it seems annoying, but you're already gonna be deep frying them, right? You're already gonna be using the oil, right? You can reuse this, and we are going to reuse this to fry. So you might as well do this step. Trust me, it is going to make the best tater tots you have ever made. It's the par cooking that gets them ready to just become so, just like, the only term I can think is like, you eat it and your brain just goes goo goo gaga. That's the way I would describe it. Now, try to drain all that excess oil out best you can. You can push it out a little bit. Now, I'm gonna invert onto a sheet tray, and I want you to kind of spread that out. You can use tongs, you can use a spoon, and look at all the steam coming off this. This is so hot. I don't really want to add a ton of starch to really hot, steamy veg. I want it to cool down a little bit, but this is also an opportunity to just see it all in front of you. And instead of seasoning it at the end, we're gonna season it all the way perfectly with salt now. So all we gotta do is shape, freeze, fry. They'll be seasoned perfectly. You just fry them and serve them. So in a small bowl, you're gonna add 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Whisk that together till combined, and then now we're gonna use this as our seasoning salt, season these potatoes beautifully. Let's grab some of your seasoning, sprinkle it all over your potatoes nicely. We're not gonna use it all, just use a little bit of it for right now. You could also add like chicken bouillon or MSG to this, I bet it'd be fire. Now we're gonna toss all that together. This is really hot, by the way, so I would recommend doing this with a tool. So toss it together, fold it together, just get that seasoning thoroughly mixed in there. See, if you fully cook these, by the time you were finished stirring these, you would have mashed potatoes. That would suck. Okay, let's give it a little taste. Good, but I want more salt. So we're gonna add another layer. And you're just gonna keep doing this until you've either added all of this or it's seasoned to taste to your liking with salt. If you feel it needs to be saltier after this, you can just add more kosher salt. Don't add more spices. And then finish mixing that together. So now, the beauty of this is cooled down. I can now touch it with my hands. Okay, so spread this out evenly, and then we're just gonna add 5.5 tablespoons or 55 grams of cornstarch. And first I'm gonna add half of it, not all of it. And I'm gonna fold the potato in and just kind of knead that all together, kind of like a dough, right? We're kind of just mixing this together. And you can see already it's starting to kind of form together, that's good. Now we're gonna add the other half. Just finish mixing that together. So you'll notice these are still pretty loose. That's kind of the goal. Like, see how it still falls apart? But if you squeeze it together, it will hold its shape. That's kind of the goal, because that's how you end up with those nice little gnarly, crunchy bits on the inside. So now we shape. I've got a sheet tray that's been sprayed with baking spray so that the parchment adheres to it. You're gonna parchment line that bad boy. You can also spray the parchment sheet with just a touch of oil just to make it a little more non-stick. Now, for the potatoes, you're gonna want little 1 ounce portions. And you're gonna kind of squeeze them, toss them in between your hand until you get a rough sort of ball shape, right? Then you're gonna take that ball, kind of form your hand around it. So you're kind of forming it into a cylinder. But now it's not quite well shaped, right? You got kind of more of a turd shape. I don't want that. So you're gonna use your index and your thumb to flatten the top and the bottom while you roll it into that cylinder. Then you end up with a beautiful tater tot shape. Now, you're gonna repeat that process quite a few times until you have used all of your potatoes. I would recommend forcing a friend or family member to help you do this so it goes by faster. It won't take that long, probably take about 15 minutes. With a helper, 20 to 25 minutes by yourself. You can also use like a 1 ounce cookie scoop to make this go by a little faster in terms of portioning them. That'll get you 50 to 52 tater tots. They're not perfect, but they're relatively similar in size. Now, we're gonna take these, you're gonna pop those in the freezer and freeze them until completely solid. At least 2 to 3 hours, but ideally overnight. You could hypothetically fry them right now, but the benefit of freezing them until solid is number 1, better texture. Number 2, you can leave them in the freezer pretty much indefinitely until you're ready to use them. So you could do this a week ahead, a month ahead, 6 months ahead. I don't know who's prepping that far in advance, but into the freezer. If you're gonna make tater tots, you might as well make a tater tot sauce. So we're making kind of a riff on a remoulade, if you will. So we've got 1 cup of mayonnaise. This can be any mayonnaise. It could be Kewpie, it could be Duke's, it could be your own mayonnaise, I don't care. And then 1/4 cup of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of Tabasco, 1.5 teaspoons of Cajun seasoning, and 1 teaspoon of MSG. Now, whisk all that together. Now that's a delicious, beautiful looking sauce as it is, but it definitely needs some sustenance to it. So we're gonna add half of a large shallot. I would basically just be going for like 1/4 cup, very finely chopped. I'm gonna rub my knife through that a couple more times. Here's the problem with making it too coarse. If you make it too coarse, it won't really cling to your tater tot in the way that you want it to cling, right? If it's a big chunk, it's just gonna kind of fall off, or you end up with a big chunk of shallot in your mouth. Nobody wants that. So we're gonna wanna chop it pretty finely. Slide that off to the side. Your eyes will be burning at this point. Mother of God. And then 1 small dill pickle. You're gonna do roughly the same amount, about 2 tablespoons of dill pickle, very finely chopped, and about 2.5 tablespoons of finely chopped capers. Place all those into a bowl, and then to that, add about 2 tablespoons of thinly sliced chives, 2 cloves of freshly grated garlic, fresh cracked black pepper, and we're just gonna stir that together. Oh yeah, now we're talking. I mean, look at that. It's got that perfect remoulade texture. This would be so good on like a shrimp po' boy or a sandwich, even on a burger, honestly, as a salad dressing or as a tater tot dip. Look at this. It looks stunning. All right, now we fry. We have our tallow that's been left over is now in a Dutch oven set to 350 Fahrenheit. And by that, I mean the oil is 350 Fahrenheit. So we can drop in our frozen tots. I'd recommend getting a spider and just loading it up with the tots. Don't drop them in individually, it's dangerous, right? Just lower them in. I would probably fry these in maybe 2 batches. I think that's your best bet. If you do any more than that, you might risk overflowing. We don't want that. And you're gonna let those fry beautifully for 3 to 4 minutes. Just be aware that if they start to stick at all, don't worry. Let them kind of get a little browning. And once they start to solidify, you can use scissors to snip them if they do stick. Now, once these turn a beautiful, deep golden brown, crispy, GBD, golden brown delicious. They should look something like that. They will feel a bit soft at first, but they will crisp up as they sit and cool off. So you're gonna drain those, let that kind of dribble out from your spider, pull them out, and set over a wire rack. You don't have to season these again, because you've already seasoned them, and then fry your next batch. Wow, these look amazing, holy shit. Repeat that with the rest of your tater tots, which you should only have to do 1 more batch, and then serve. Plating this is very simple. You can literally just throw these in a bag, you can throw them on a plate, you can throw them in a bowl, I don't care. Just pile them high, be sure to serve them with your sauce, and enjoy. You will have leftover sauce, that was on purpose. Use that for literally whatever else you want. Wow, this is a plate of tater tots. There's not a whole lot to talk about, so let's just eat one. Single-handedly, the crunchiest little morsel of potato. Good Lord, possibly the best flavor on earth is beef fat and potatoes. And it's the perfect combo of flavors here. It lifts the flavor of the potato so much without overwhelming it. It's seasoned perfectly. The inside, velvety confit potato. The outside, unbelievable airy crunch. And then with this sauce, insane. Perfectly balanced, the sauce is a little spicy. God, I mean, I feel like I'm downplaying this too much. Guys, the greatest tater tot, period, bar none. It's funny because nobody serves tater tots anymore, I feel like. And if you're gonna go somewhere and get a tater tot, it's usually pretty subpar. It's not the star of the show. This is worthy of being the star of the show. You could do nothing else and just serve this and people would be happy that you served them that. They would be grateful for it. And you should be proud of yourself if you made it. So if you do wanna make it, the link's in the description for their full written recipe, or you can just follow along here. I love you so much, subscribe, bye.